Oh, boy, that's terrible. How about, let me try it again. Oh, does that look like any of you? Now, I know I went a little bit extreme on those, but some of you do suffer that poor shot, that chip shot, this pitch shot, that you top it, you lay the sod over it, you hit it thin. You may not even do it when you practice, but you do when you play. So let's fix that. Hi, I'm Erik Schjolberg with EJS Golf. We're going to start getting spin on these chips. I call it making you a chipping assassin. Here's my philosophy on chipping. I think anybody with reasonable skills, and that's most people in golf, can become a really good chipper. Why do they not become good chippers, most golfers? Because they don't understand how to do it. It's a very technical move. And what I hear when somebody hits a poor shot is typically has nothing to do with why the shot was wrong. So maybe golfers are even better at this because if you think about it, poor technique, and they still some have good days, okay? So it's like, if, you know, like I take this club back, I'm like right here, and I hit some good ones like that one day, well, hey, you know, you're gonna do it, but you're gonna be inconsistent, that's the problem. So stick around here. I'm gonna go through a lot of these things here that are gonna help you, and these are my keys for my students that make them really good at chipping, okay? And why is that again? Because there's always an answer, okay? You never hit a chip shot and you go, I wonder what the heck I did wrong, okay? You always know, okay? So we're gonna go through my process here of analyzation for a chip shot, but what matters, okay? So I have my 58, or I have my 60 here, and I'm gonna grab a couple alignment sticks, and here's the thing. I don't care if you use a 58, I don't care if you use 54, I don't care if you use a 60. Okay, now some people will say, oh boy, Erik, you need to use this club for this situation. You need to use this for that. And I'd go, okay, one of the best chippers in the world all time, Phil Mickelson, uses 62 or 64 times, okay? How does he do that? So what he does is he controls his follow through. If he wants to go low, you know, drive the hands more like that. Wants to go high, it'll be more of a release. So why do I recommend that to most of my students is this. Learn to hit one club. You know, guys, think about how much time you have to practice. And that's usually why this is not done, because there's not enough practice time put into it. The pros run out of time to practice, okay? So I want you always to have a golf club or alignment stick down. You can have a bit left of your target, but barely, okay? Why is this important? Okay, now we're at step one. And this is about the takeaway, okay? And I'm gonna do setup later, okay? But actually, let's just do setup right now, okay? We'll get it over with. Setup, I like to see your feet close. Okay, if you're really tall, you're gonna have to get a little wider to get down there, okay? I don't want you to get too wide, but you know, for the standard person, I'm 5'10", you know, like about a club head's length, okay? Let's talk about ball position. Now, I like to build a stock shot, okay? Now this stock shot is one that we're gonna have quite a few variations from, but it's our stock shot. So one stock shot I can hit lower, medium, higher, okay? That means I didn't change ball placement on any of those, okay? So I want to have the ball, if we have center here, barely forward of center, okay, as our stock shot. You hear a lot of people say play it further back. We don't need to do that. Now, here's why. I can use that for a specialty shot, number one, when I move it back. But number two, what I see what it promotes for most players, the further I move it back is they got to get to it, so they do more of this, okay? Now, if you want to watch a video of mine that talks about spin, or spin loft to be exact, check them out. I've done quite a few. It's an equation. It's not hard once you understand the technique, okay, on how to do it. Everybody thinks it's this like technique that's like, oh, wow, it's this mysterious thing. It's not. It's a calculation like anything else. That's why, thank God, we understand what happens down here, because I know I can match my attack angle and my dynamic loft, figure out what those two are. When I know that, that gives me a spin loft, and there's my spin, okay? So watch a video, because I get much more in depth in it than that. Okay, so let's say number one, I was gonna do a takeaway. We're gonna just say it's our setup, okay? Next part, and this is what I find, this part has to be right or the rest goes wrong, okay? And remember, this is my technique for doing it, okay? This isn't Joe Mayo's, this isn't the chef's, who teaches right over here. This is mine and what I find very important, okay? So don't go, well, oh, I see he says do this, he does that. I'm not saying that doesn't work, okay? But I see a lot of students that are more in probably your handicap range, okay? Do I teach professional level? Yes, but I spend much more time teaching the guy that's a 8 to 12 handicap, okay? Or even 15 than I do the guy that's a +6, okay? We work on much different things with the +6 than we're gonna work on with you, but we have to just get these techniques right, these few, okay? And everybody can do this. Number one, technique-wise, because we already did setup. Setup, we have our feet this. I like to flare the foot out here, and this is the key. Everybody knows weight needs to get forward, but watch what happens. I push my weight forward. Look at this tilt I get. It's on my shoulder, left shoulder's high. I need my shoulders to be level. So if I stand here and I get them level, look what it does to my body. It leans it forward, okay? I lean forward, I get all my weight left, okay? So get your weight left by doing it the correct way, okay? So by just trying to level these, it's gonna feel odd, folks, but by trying to level the shoulders out will be good. I like to see some shaft lean. I'd say I stand a little bit farther than I'm telling you guys to do apart, just because it's more comfortable for me, but from doing it for so long, and I have another couple of reasons why I do it, but I want you to feel like this heel is almost off the ground. I want to make one other quick statement about this, because I just had a lesson talking to a guy about this, and he had always thought chipping, driving, irons are really close to the same. A coach told him, he goes, they're really the same, just adjustment or two. And I couldn't find anything farther than the truth for this. So my setup is way different. What's this? This is what I'm telling you is the next part. So setup is wildly different. The next part is this. So I make sure right here I'm keeping this club outside. Okay, I don't have that much rotation in my body. Is that the same? Absolutely not. Okay, so number one most important part, I call this the number one deadly sin right here in chipping, is this. Golfers take the club back here, they get behind their hands here. By the time the club gets up to parallel the ground, it cannot be behind the hands. Why is that? So I'm going to do that right here and show you. So I take it back behind my hands. Watch what happens when I turn, just natural forces. Landing back here. Watch this. I'm going to do the same thing. Landed up here. That's natural forces. I didn't make any changes. So I'm going to strike the ball better, right? Now the next thing I want to start thinking about is, where do I land? Well, most people are going, oh, I need to pick this perfect. Good luck. That's the same thing in your full shot if you're trying to pick it. It's not going to happen. You're going to get lucky every once in a while if you're like, okay, I just need to pick this perfectly clean. Can we do it? Is there a swing where we do it? Yes, there is. But I like to teach something, a little bit different, okay? So what I want you to think of it as this. I want you to think that we are trying to land the club up here. Why? I want a much steeper angle of attack, okay? So we can start putting the proper amount of spin on this. But more important than that spin is this. I want predictability of contact. So I don't care if I play with you in Atlanta or you in Gloucester, or I play with you in Scottsdale or somewhere in Florida with some Bermuda. Are there going to be some minor differences? Yes, but what's big is this, is that if I'm hitting the ball first, basically, and then the ground, is there a lie that's too tight? No. So I can play so many lies, and I get that every time people come from a chip and they tell me, oh, my course, you have to putt from 20 feet off. You just have no idea. It's too tight. And I go, okay, so I'll find something super tight like back here. I go, is it something like this? And they go, oh, yeah, it is. It's exactly like that. Like it's impossible. Like, you cannot do it. And I get up and I go, and they're like, what? How is that possible? That thing just spun back a range ball. How is that possible? Well, it's easy, because what am I doing? I am hitting the ball first, ground second. I don't care where it is, okay? So that breeds a lot of confidence, okay? And you're gonna get up there and feel like I can do this. So we have our setup, takeaway, club stays outside our hands by here. If I keep going, it may get a little bit back, okay? Length of swing, I don't want to get any longer than here. Remember, this shot is no longer than 30 to 35 yards. That is it for this chip, okay? If I get too much wrist hinge, that's too much to release, okay? So, set up here, more outside. Got our foot kind of splayed out. Okay, from here, I'm just feeling rotation. So the shoulder kind of goes down a little bit left, rotation. I'm landing here. I have some shaft lean, and I'm just turning and facing the target. And if you'll notice, when I finish, the butt of this club is pointed back at me, and the club face is open. It's not closed. I didn't try to come in and close it. Are there shots for that you'll do that? Yes, there are, okay? Not for the stock shot I'm teaching you. I'm teaching you how to clip this thing. The launch angle is probably 33, which is gonna be way lower than you're used to, but we're gonna be producing a lot of spin so that when it hits the green, even if you're 15 yards off and you can't spin it back, you're gonna have the ability to stop it where you want, okay? If the pin's on the front, yes, you'll be screwed and not be able to get it, but I promise you this, you're not gonna hit the front of the green and roll off the back end, okay? That's not gonna happen. So what do we have here? Now, folks, if you see me take it a tad bit inside, it's a bad habit I have that I work on all the time. How do I work on it? I just kind of push it out here with my left arm. But my bad habit is to get it in too far behind here. So it's something I have to watch. So if you catch me doing it, you don't need to tell me in the comments. I know I have an issue doing it. So, so we have the backswing here, which we're getting right. We have the setup. We have the landing point. We're telling us that it's up front. Now, what I add to this is we have to hit the ground. I brush the ground. I call it thump. Okay, we need to thump the ground, meaning I don't have to hit it hard. It's just heavy. Why is that? I want to make sure I get down. If I don't get down at all to the ground here, I'm going to blade it or do something else, okay? And then the final part is turn and face the target with the butt end facing here, with the face open. That's for that shot, okay? Now, there's a lot of different ways to practice this, which I go through in other videos of mine, checking out right-hand, left-handed, other drills to do. But those are the basics where you can break it down. And how do you break that down? Okay, so let's say I hit this shot and I never touch the ground. What went wrong? Oh, I picked my head up. You know what? No, you didn't, okay? And here's the other thing. You didn't hit up here. So make it a priority on your next one that you are going to turn and hit the ground. I'm gonna tell you this. I've been doing this over 30-something years. I used to play competitive a long time ago till I got hurt. I still, to this day, I have to use terminology. I call it this, thump and turn. What does that mean? I have to tell myself to thump and turn, okay? Now, I gave you the big parts going on here with the golf swing. Are there other things to it, or with the chipping and pitching stroke? Yes, that you can look into in further videos of mine where I talk a lot about pushing up through it, down to up. Because think about this, if I have a 10 or 12 degree, let's just say, if I'm 10 or 12 degrees down like this, how do I not stick it in the ground? Like that's gonna go boom in there hard unless I push up and out of it. So that's what I want you to think of it, up and out. We're always pushing up on the way through. If you ever see anybody going down with their knee, they're not a good chipper, and you can tell why. Why is that? Because I have to make up. If I'm going down, my arms are gonna have to do something like this to compensate for that part. Instead of just keeping this nice structure I have that's real wide and boom, boom, boom. Right arm, okay? And this is my final tip I'm giving of this, is that if I go here, I'm gonna be in big trouble. I gotta think of this right arm. And here's the thing, I have a student that does that. They just had a great chipping day, going like this, okay? The one before that day was terrible. Two before that, and they were telling me about it. Why was this one good? They just timed it out good that day. Like sometimes we're just really good at timing things out. But wouldn't you rather have it, know that every day is gonna be good, that you don't have to time it out exactly? I know you do. So keep this right arm wide, just like that, and you won't have that issue, okay? Thanks for watching. Become a chipping assassin. I'm Erik Schjolberg with EJS Golf and the Science of Better Golf.